Hello again. Today we're going to be going over the Vivax-Metrotech vCam 6 control module firmware update. We're going to be going over it step by step. In the description in this video, you're going to find all the timestamps related to particular steps, so you can navigate through that to find what you need. The first thing you're going to need, though, is most important, is you're going to need a USB stick. One of the USBs, there's a USB that comes with the unit. It's in the black accessory bag, or you can just buy one at the store if you don't have one. And let's get started. So the first thing you're going to want to do is take your USB and insert it in the USB port on your desktop or laptop. Then you are going to go to the Vivax-Metrotech website. Once you get to the Vivax-Metrotech website, you're gonna go to support. You're gonna go to downloads. Once you go to downloads, you're gonna go to software. So there's two files that are most important for this firmware update. One of them is going to be the vCam 6 _DVR _, there's gonna be 3 numbers. This one, the latest one, is 042. So we're gonna download that one. The second one you need to do, you need to find it on the website, I think it's on the second page here, is vCam 6 MCU 604, which is the latest for the MCU update. And you need to do both of them, so download that one. The next step is to take these files from your laptop or desktop computer and put them on the thumb drive. So you gotta go to the downloads in your computer and you're gonna drag each file, so the SoC file, and you have to drag it and drop it into your USB. So that was the SoC file. Now I gotta do the bin file. Once again, it's gonna be a drag and drop. Now that we have both files on the USB, we are going to take the USB out of your computer and laptop, and we are going to put it into the vCam 6. So the last step of this, we've already downloaded it onto the USB. We are going to put the USB into the vCam 6 and then upload all those files we just downloaded. So the next step, after we've downloaded the bin file and the SoC file onto the USB, we're going to take that same USB and put it into the vCam 6. So there's a USB port on the side of the vCam 6, and we insert it there. The next step we're going to want to do is go to menu, which is the F10 button. We're going to go to setup. Once we pull up setup, we scroll down to update, hit enter, and then it's going to ask us update firmware. Hit the right arrow again, and then it's going to say USB, because that's what we're pulling the files off of. We hit enter. Remember, 2 file types, .bin and .soc. We got to do both of them. We hit enter on the .bin file, and it's going to pull up that particular file that we had downloaded. We hit enter again. It's going to ask if you want to update the firmware, and then select OK. And we just wait, and we wait for that green bar to go all the way across the screen. Depending on how far back you are with the firmware updates, it may take longer to update. It's automatically going to reboot itself after you've installed the firmware update, that particular file. You just got to let it go through its paces. Before we download the other file, let's just make sure that file got on there. There's a way to check. We can go to menu, go to setup, and we want to go all the way down to about, and it'll tell us the version of firmware. So I did upload DVR 0_042. So now I know that that particular firmware is on there. It's also a good way to check and see what version of firmware you have from the get-go. If you're curious to see if you do need an update, this is where you check. You compare it with what's on your vCam 6 versus what's on the website. So the next file we have to do is the SoC file. Once again, it'll tell us a firmware update. Firmware update is happening. The progress bar is gonna go from left to right. Make sure it goes all the way to the right. And now it's gonna go through a restart. Let it go through its restart. And let's check to make sure that we downloaded _604. Go to setup, hit enter, go all the way down to about, and yep, MCU _6.04. And that is how you update your firmware on a vCam 6 control module. For more content like this, hit like, subscribe, and comment down below.